We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello. How's everybody doing this Tuesday? Hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. We got a lot to talk about today. Lot to talk about today. You know, this was inspired by today's show. The earlier show, I mean. And Black women and their identity crisis. Do we all think that Black women are having an identity crisis? Yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Do we think Black women overall, collectively, are even having an identity crisis in the first place? You think so? Okay. It comes from, well, it manifests. I'm not going to say it comes from. It manifests in many different ways for Black women. The identity crisis that Black women undergo or are suffering from causes something we're going to call independent overload. Thank you, Too Tall. Independent overload. What's independent overload? Independent overload is not only the not needing of men, but not needing each other, not needing other women, not needing the support system of a community, not needing a family, not needing any children, not even needing to make a choice about who she is and who she's gonna be. A lot of overthinking. There's a lot of Black women, so many Black women, not at peace with themselves. They function almost completely in a mind state that is predicated on being manipulative and deceptive. Thank you, Charles. As side note, Sister Crimson, you look phenomenal, respectfully. Thank you so much. No peace. And when you are a group of people that don't have any peace, that's rooted in not knowing who you are, what you're supposed to be doing, why you exist, why you breathe in the air, why are you here in this world. It's an identity crisis because an individual, neither a group of people, can move forward in life at all without settling who they are once and for all. Thank you, Frederick. Said willing self-extinction. See, you have to be rooted in who you are. And that has to be an unshakable thing. When I say unshakable, I don't mean you never evolve. I mean, you have to be able to determine at all times who you are for yourself. Because if you don't, if you are not capable of doing this thing, then somebody gonna come along and make these decisions for you. And that's exactly what has happened to Black women. White survivalists came along and defined who Black women were supposed to be via feminism for them. Because you think you can have it all. You think you can do it all. You think you can be it all. All the men want you. Everybody's pandering after you. Everybody love you or everybody hating on you. Everybody wants you or everybody's rejecting you. You either got all the friends in the world or you don't have no friends and you alone in the world. The sisterhood is down with you and they support of you, and in the next breath, they not in support of you and you by yourself and they at your heels. You don't know who you are. You're having an identity crisis. Because there was a time where Black women were the standard of femininity. And see, feminism will have you not recall that time. It'll frame the world as if Black women have always been these degenerate, valueless, worthless, carnal beasts that mimicked women, that looked like women, but that internally they were not women. See, we always want to talk about how under white survivalism, Black men are not men and they are, inherently predisposed to criminal activity and low IQ and low thinking, sexual predators. They don't think anything above being the beast of a field. That's their thinking. But we don't ever talk about how it affected Black women and defined Black women. Black women got redefined also. Because just like Black men had set the pace for what is exceptional among men, because our civilizations was here first. So we set the tone for the world about what success looked like, what a successful civilization looked like, what a thriving civilization looked like, what good values looked like, what masculinity looked like, what femininity looked like. Black women were sought after to rear children because they were what? The best mothers with the best value system, that with the nurturing heart. Black women would do anything for their families. They would do anything to hold their family together, to hold the community together, to hold the household together, to support all of the family members. We were rooted in who we were. Our men were rooted in who they were. We're the ones who were the standard bearers for humanity. Everything that everybody else learned about being a healthy civilization, they got from us. It was us who civilized those European countries. Make no mistake. Even into oppression and chattel slavery, they looked to black women to do what? Rear their children. They looked to black women to suckle their children. They look to black women for how to really be a wife, how to really support your community, how to really speak life into your men, how to really encourage in the face of obstacles. They look to black women for that. But then our values were stripped away and replaced with us not valuing anything, with us not valuing anyone. And we value nothing except what white survivalist systems, lost cause systems, American nightmare systems, lost value systems told us to value. We were taught, our foremothers were taught to stop valuing themselves. You're not women. You're not women. We women, all of the rest of the world, all of the rest of the communities of women are women. But you, who we got all of this from, now all of a sudden you're not a woman. Now you gotta beg the whole world to see you as a woman. Now we're in position collectively to try to appropriate everybody else's womanhood. They got that from us. Got us to such an extent that we no longer know how to be women. We no longer know. It's an affront to us. It's offensive to us now. We even developed coping mechanisms to deal with not wanting to be feminine, to not coming back to who we actually are. Because anytime a black woman comes up and say, hey, sisters, we have to become women again. We have to do these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to change our perspective, to drop that negative value system, to regain value for who we are, and take our rightful place among women. And we came up with shaming language about it. We came up with mammy. We came up with pick me. We came up with so many different terms And it's not even really offensive. The name calling is not offensive. I actually feel sorry. I feel sorry for us. I feel sorry for us as a group of women. Because we fight the concept of femininity. We fight the concept of coming back to our natural biological state. Because we don't know, we don't recognize it anymore. And we don't associate it with us. It's foreign. It's like the body fighting a foreign entity being introduced to it. Thank you, Miss Danica. We no longer recognize ourselves. We can't see our reflection in the mirror of femininity anymore. We doing soft girl era because we trying to try it on. We trying to get used to it. Thank you, Miss Lucasey. We trying to ease into it like because I don't know how it's supposed to even feel. I don't know how it's even supposed to feel. Trying to be a woman. Even if it is manipulative or a chameleon tactic or whatever it is. The fact that we're in a position as women where that's something that we got to do. The generations of black women have failed the coming generation so much that the young 20-something black girl have no concept of how she's supposed to be feminine and move in this world. She think that because the world is predicated on being masculine, that she gotta be masculine. And it ain't nothing wrong with the world being predicated on masculinity. That's what it should be, because the world has to be built. The world has to be built. And it has to be maintained. That takes masculine energy. And she having an identity crisis because the world, feminism told her that in order to make it in the world, she gotta be everything. Everything except who she is. It's a distraction. It's a distraction. Be a housewife, but also be a career woman, but also be an astronaut, but also be a stay-at-home mom, but also be, you can be a woman, but you also need to be a man. You can be hard, but you also need to be soft. You can be tough, but you also can be scary. You need to be strong, but you also need to be weak. You need your family, but you also need to be independent. You need your children, but you also need the husband to go along with it. But you don't really need him because the world told you to hate him, but really in your heart you love him. Really in your heart you do anything for that man, but you don't know how. How many relationships have we lost, sisters? Because in your heart, you wanted to be supportive. You wanted to breathe life, didn't you? You wanted to love him, didn't you? But you didn't know how. Your mama failed you. She didn't know how. She didn't teach you. She didn't teach you how to give that same help to that man in your feminine energy versus in your masculine energy. She didn't tell you how to do that. She never sat down and told you, hey, baby, this is how you talk to your man. This is how you get him motivated. This is how you support. How many marriages did you lose? How many potential good relationships did you lose? How many good men did you lose? How many did you lose? Because you was having an identity crisis. Because you were on independence overload. Because you didn't know how to follow what you was going through in your heart as a woman, as opposed to what society told you should have been doing. You love that man, but then your girlfriends got on your case, laughed at you, ridiculed you. You do everything that man wants you to do. How many of us heard that from our sisters, from our mothers, from our aunts, from our friends? How many? You can think back. Man, I lost that relationship because I was listening to my friends, because I was listening to my mama, because I was listening to women that didn't have nothing to do with my relationship. And I didn't have the fortitude, I didn't have the self-awareness to block them out and not include them in my relationship in the first place. My good sis Danica is in here. She married. If she's still in here, I'd like for her to chime in. Has she had to, in order to keep her marriage intact, tune out the women around her, anybody in her life, to say, girl, what is you doing? You do everything that man wants you to do. I don't know if sis is still in here. Thank you, Fadrell. You got to tune out the so-called sisterhood, because they'll help you sabotage a relationship you was happy in. And you were happy in that relationship because you finally had a man that gave you structure and direction, and inside you wanted that. You knew you needed that. Regardless of all of the foolishness that you grew up with. You grew up with, girl, you ain't got to do what he's saying and this, that. And I'm focusing on relationships right now because for sisters, that is where the greatest pain comes from being in this independent overload, from being in this identity crisis. We lose the relationships that mean the most to us because we don't know who we are and we can't settle it. We never choose what we want to be and stick to that. Because we're being told you got to do everything. You can be everything. And in the end, you're nobody. You can do everything. And in the end, you've done nothing. You've remained stagnant or you move backwards. And then you wonder why we come here and we talk about black women's femininity, black women's femininity, black women's femininity. You can't be everybody. You can't be a woman and a man. You can't be an adult and a child. You can't be, you know what I'm saying, Miss Independent, don't need no man, and then on the other hand need their protection. and need their provision and can't get by in life without them. You got to pick one or the other. And the choice is not even hard. The choice itself is not difficult. The choice that you should be making is to be feminine, to be a woman. You taking on all of this stuff that everybody else is putting in your hand. You don't have to do that. Do you realize we don't have to do that? You know you don't gotta be no boss chick, right? You know that don't really make or break you. That don't really define who you are. That don't really define who you are. Because it mostly be cap anyway. It's a lie anyway. You're not a boss chick because you don't run nobody. You don't got no employees, beloved. You don't got no employees. Nobody's looking to you for guidance. Nobody's looking to you to set them straight. Nobody's looking to you to move them forward. You're not a boss. And it's okay not to be a boss. This is what I'm trying to get through to you. Just because that's the new thing on the internet is that every chick, in order to be valuable, she got to be a boss. And this is what it's really about. You're taking on all these things because you're looking for value. You're looking for your value. And white folks not gonna give it to you. Do you understand that? Following a lost system will keep you lost. It keep you lost. You'll never have no real value assigned to you as a person. Because that's what you're looking for. You're getting BBLs because you're looking for value. You're taking all your pictures and back shots because you're looking for value. You will get on somewhere and tell everybody you a throat goat because you're looking for value. You will get on anywhere and tell anybody that you know what I'm saying, are a boss chick because you're looking for value. You go everywhere and you tell everybody you don't need nobody because you're looking for value. While we looking for value, I'm going to let folks look for it while we go on this commercial break. So after these messages, we'll be right back.
Thank you for joining the A-Game Zoom meeting. Juan, start us off with your financial projections.
Oh, golly, Wally, what is that?
Wait, does he even know he's live?
Why are his pants so tight? Oh, you just got the... Is he pop locking?
He does have moves. Go on.
Or the breakdance?
Ooh, I hope he doesn't split his tight pants.
Oh, go one. Go, eat the birthday. Go one, eat the birthday.
You better clap yourself like you work. In there dancing around like you crazy.
Okay, that was pretty good. Now that Juan has given us his unauthorized dance routine, does anyone else have a dance routine they want to do? Okay, well, let's get back to showing the world why A-Game is the #1 herbal solution in the world. However, I kind of want to know why his pants were so tight too. But let's get back to being on our A-Game.
I like one dancing. Especially she like, clap yourself back to work. We gonna get back to work, but before we do, we gotta make sure we on our A game, our A game, our A game. We got to make sure that our men are on their A game. We got to make sure that they're looking out for their overall health, that they're getting the boost that they need in their vitality, their energy, their strength, and their libido. Our men go through so much every day. A lot of what we have no idea, ladies, what our fathers and brothers and husbands and sons go through each day being a man. So they need every kind of benefit and boost that they can possibly get. So fellas, if you want that extra boost in your overall health, ladies, you want to see to the overall health of the men in your life, all you got to do is become part of the A Game family. And in order to do that, you must click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com. Please don't forget your 10% discount using the code Kendra10 so you can have this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. And while we doing that, we got 281 wonderful likes. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the other 300 or so people to hit the like button. So bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button. Bam, bam. You gotta Okay. Our Black women are searching everywhere for value. This is how they keep you from knowing who you are and from settling down to have enough time to stop and think, who am I and who do I need to be? What's my purpose? What's my ultimate function here? What's my real purpose as a woman? Thank you, Eugene. So these real women's, shout out to Danica, real women's are looking for false value to use as their coping or capping mechanism. You move the goalposts all the time, Black women, because the goalposts get moved on you. The moment you conform to some idiotic standard of what you should be as a woman, goalposts get moved. Now you just in rebellion. You just in rebellion about being a woman. Every time we as your people, as your sisters, as your brothers tell you this is what we need you to be because this is what you need to be, you go right into rebellion. We need you to be feminine. You go right into your masculine. We need you to not cuss so much. You cuss like a sailor. We need you to stay home and raise these kids. You figure out a way not to do that. We need you to be support systems for the men in your family. You go off and be independent. In open rebellion of every biological thing that you need to really be. We've lost touch with who we are biologically as women. We let the world let it be shameful to us that we want to be mothers and we want to be wives and we want our husbands to take care of us. We allowed the world to shame us into something we taught them how to do. To such an extent that Black women don't even like saying that in front of other women, in front of other Black women, because we think it make us look weak. For us to say, no, I need my husband. No, I want my husband. I need my husband. I want children. I want to be married one day. I want to have a family. We done let that be shameful. We done let folks shame us out of that. We'll get around the very women that look like us and be scared to say that. Have we ever stopped to think about why that should be something that we shouldn't do? A natural function of women. We feel some type of way saying that. We think we got to get in front of the women and say, yeah, I want to be a lawyer. Yeah, I'm going, for my this degree and for my that degree, because that give us more value in the eyesight of the other women. When your true value needs to be inside of you first. What do we do about this identity crisis? What do we do about this independence overload? How do we get out of the loop of that? It starts with a decision. You got to make a decision on your life. You got to make a decision on your life. This is why we go hard at older black women, because you done lived your life. You understand where you went wrong at, and you will not open your mouth to tell the young ladies don't do it. Instead, you either keep quiet or you come to reinforce the loss of values. You come to reinforce teaching young women how to be 304s, how to prostitute themselves, how to be for the streets, how to have a 300 body count. Because the girl that we talked about that had that more than 300 body count, that girl was a girl before. That woman that we looking at was a little girl at some point. Where did she learn that having all of them sexual partners in her life and she wasn't out of her 20s yet? Where she learn that? Where she learn that? Who taught that to her? Because that girl didn't come out the womb with 300 bodies on her. That girl didn't come out the womb talking about she gonna be a 304 and this, that, and the third. She didn't come out the womb talking like that. Where'd she get that? At what point in her growing up did she learn that her only value as a human being was how much sex she could give and receive? And thus she went on that journey. See how many men she could bag and get to have sex with her. Because there was at some point where her value system became corrupted. She wasn't no 5, 6, 7-year-old thinking that. She wasn't no 8, 9, 10-year-old thinking it. Where did it happen? When did it happen? At what point? This is what I'm talking about. See, we can talk about the end result all day, what the outcomes are. All these women are perpetually single. All these women got high body counts. All these women is 304s. All these women are thoughts. Right. We know. We see them. How she get there? Because she didn't come into this world with that mindset. How she get there? This is what I'm speaking to today. The identity crisis that led her into that. Into being a thought. Because when she was supposed to be learning who she was and having her value system set, that didn't happen. Or it happened in a corruptive way. Somewhere, that woman with 300 bodies got a mama and a daddy. Somewhere. Somewhere, at some point in time in her life, she was loved by somebody. We have to resolve the identity crisis. We have to resolve the independent overload. Because society say you can't and you shouldn't. It only tell black women that. Identity crisis. A woman king. A woman king. Not a woman queen. A woman king. And they directed it at us. And that's not supposed to be an identity crisis for us. It's an oxymoron in the first place. Because a woman can never be a king. Because all kings are men. A simple biological truth get twisted, and they want you to cheer it on. They want you to support it with your money. They want you to go to the theater and support it. Support your own cognitive dissonance. Support your own independence overload. Support your own identity crisis. Keep you mired in that. A woman king. Everybody associated with that movie ought to be shamed. Just off the title alone. We're not even going into what it's about. Just off the strength of the title alone is shameful. And they only pointed at us. Black women, you masculine. And you gotta be that way. Because there ain't no good in you being feminine. They taught us that. When we talk about good black women and being feminine in relationships, what's the first thing that black women start talking about? When we start talking about, well, yeah, you got to be this and you got to be that. You got to be feminine. You got to be a good woman. You got to be supportive. You know, you need to have these values and that value and this system and this thought pattern and this mindset when you want to be a wife and all of that type of stuff. What's the first thing black women start talking about? What's the first thing they start talking about? He gonna cheat on you too. You ain't gonna have it no better with these men out here. The women I know, you know, they did that. My grandmama did that. My mama did that, and blah 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 blah. And she still got cheated on, and he still did this, and her marriage still didn't work. So we being taught and conditioned that femininity doesn't get good outcomes for women. We get taught that. White women don't get taught that. Other women from other cultures don't get taught that. Asian women don't get taught that. We get taught that. And then we take it on. The reason why it's so easy to get black women to take on anybody's cause, anybody's, experience as her own is because we have an identity crisis, because we don't know who we are, because we don't take time to set who we are. Even if you entered into this world at a disadvantage, your mama didn't teach you, you had a bad childhood, or there was hardly any structure for you growing up, as we become adult women, it becomes our responsibility to set our own value system, and that requires us to take a look at who we are spiritually, who we are as people, individually. Because it don't matter to you what your mama and your daddy went through. Stay out your mama and daddy relationship. That ain't had nothing to do with you. Because you don't know all the nuances of their relationship in the first place. You just know what your mama told you. You didn't even so much as get the other side of what your daddy said. So you don't know what went on in their relationship. You don't know what your grandmama did. You was 4 years old. We get taught that our grandmothers and foremothers that held their family together were foolish women that didn't know their worth and their value as women. So they took anything and took everything from every man because they didn't know their value. I challenge black women today to tell me what their worth is. Tell me what your values are. Tell me what they are. Do you even know? And if you don't know, you're going to have to start finding out. You want to live valuable lives with no value. You want to be scandalous, but you want to be perceived as these upright, upstanding women. You can't do both. You can't do it all. You got to pick and choose. You can't run around here and put all of your physical business on the internet, all your booty, all your breasts, all your, you know what I'm saying, your kitty cat and everything, put that up and then want somebody to look at you and see a valuable woman and not sexualize you. Just like the young girl I did that video on that lost her sponsorship. She wanted those sponsors to see her as something other than what she presented herself as. And it's not going to work. You can't be valuable and worthless at the same time, beloved. You can't. You're going to have to start looking inside of you for value. Forget what the world is talking about. You're going to have to reach down. If you believe in the Most High, you're going to have to reach over there. The first step in figuring out your value is to understand your purpose as a woman. It is not to twerk on tables. Your purpose is not to have, 1 million likes on Instagram. Your purpose is not to be known as the throat goat. Your purpose is not, to be able to be flued out by this one and that one. That's not your purpose. It's not your purpose to be the next up. You the next up, Brittany Renner. You the next up. Name the chick. You the next up, Lori Harvey. You next up. That's not your purpose. Your purpose as a woman in this world is first and foremost your service to the Most High. In that service, you are supposed to be helping the men in your life accomplish the vision of the men. Because the vision of the men is what's building the world that you live in, that you comfortable in. To bring forth progeny and legacy. Thank you, Booba. Say even if they get their father's side, mama is always right. To bring forth a legacy, progeny, and to be the ones that are teaching and rearing and raising the next generation of human beings to grace this earth. If that's not a lofty purpose, I don't know what is. If that is not a lofty purpose, I don't know what is. And they removed us from that purpose. They made us think that that is low. And it is actually one of the highest things that a woman can possibly do. To bring all of her knowledge to bear. All of her experiences to bear. and to be the first teacher of a new human being, to be in charge of molding that human being's mind and setting the value system for them. Y'all ever heard that saying, the hand that rocked the cradle rule the world? White women took that on. And they told you, you don't need no cradle. You don't need no babies. We the only ones life get devastated when we get pregnant. So that's the first step. Realize your purpose as a woman. That will help you tremendously in figuring out your value system. Not feminist value system. Not following up behind what a white woman thought she ought to be doing. Because everything she know about being beautiful, about, being a domestic goddess, as they call it, and rearing kids, and all that she know was passed down from you. Because they wasn't just giving them babies to us to suckle. We were teaching them. We were teaching them what it was to be human. We were giving them the foundation for being human. Then they turn around and tell you, you don't need no baby. The nerve. Get rid of yours. They got you ignoring your babies. They got you out here ignoring your babies. They got you out here putting your babies at the worst disadvantage that you can possibly put them. With single motherhood and everything. Find out who you are. Thank you, 39 Dina. Find out who you are. The only reason somebody can come set a value system for you is when you don't got one anyway. They come make the decision for you. They decide who you are and who you're not. And they decided a long time ago that black women was not to be women. And you've been living up to it ever since. Time to stop. Time to stop. Time to stop living up to every stereotype they give you. Stop living up to being a sapphire. Stop living up to being the mammy. Stop living up to all of that. You don't have to do that. You're perfectly fine to want to be a feminine woman and a wife and a mom. And if you did go out there and get your education, it's perfectly fine to utilize that in the service of your husband's vision and in the service of your family. It's perfectly fine. Don't let them tell you you can't do that. Because they do it every day. Let them tell you can't do that. Don't let them tell you that you can't have good personal market value. You understand what I mean now? These are not just charts. Don't let these others tell you you can't have good personal market value and be a genuine, good human being and a woman at your core. Don't let them tell you got to manipulate your way through life. No, you don't. Thank you, Barry. The whole world, your neighborhood, and everybody that deal with you don't got to scorn you and dislike you. It's okay to be loved. It's okay to be spoken well of, not in your presence. It's okay for you to evolve as women and your friendship market value change, it's okay. It's okay not to be out here and be known as a throat goat. That is fine. It's okay to have marriage market value before you 49. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here to tell you it's okay. Auntie Crimson here to tell you it's okay. If I was mentoring a young girl right now, I would tell her it's okay. She can drop that. She can drop it. Any of your daughters, any of the young ladies that's listening. I know it's young ladies listening. I know that the men and the women here, the fathers and mothers here, got their young girls. It is okay, baby. For you to be a woman, it is okay. You do not have to fight that. You do not have to fight your biology just because somebody said it's for the culture for you to be a thought. You do not have to do that. You do not have to waste your 20s jumping from the bed of every man. You do not have, that is not how you get your value. That is how you ruin it. That's how you stay lost. It's okay to be a daddy's girl. It's okay to look to your father for the guidance that you need as you grow into being a young woman. It's okay. It's okay as an older woman to look back and see how you were wrong and correct it. That's okay too. It's okay to be an older woman and redirect them younger women based on the mistakes that you made and to have them not repeat that. That is okay. She gonna live a better life than you. That's okay too. Stop competing with that. You made your choice. Whatever it was, you made it. She got a chance to make a different choice. You gotta help her do that. Stop giving her your negativity secondhand. Stop giving her secondhand bitterness. Stop giving her secondhand jadedness. Don't do that. If you ain't got nothing good to say, it's best if you be quiet. I hope this was helpful to everybody who was listening to this. I hope you all were able to get something from this today. Let these people tell you we ain't got no value as women. That's a lie. That's a lie. That is a lie. Me, your sister, Sister Danica, the brothers that care about you, we telling you this because we love you. Not because we hate you. So with that, I want to bring everybody's attention. We are going over the 6,000 signatures. Now let's try for 7,500 signatures for the Black Lives Matter petition that we have because they absconded, one of my favorite words to use for them, with the bag. More than $90 million of donated funds never came to the Black community. Another one of the organization just got arrested for stealing millions of dollars also that came to their chapter of Black Lives Matter. So they're not going to stop until we as a community actually come together to hold them accountable. And the first step in holding them accountable is this petition. So I definitely encourage everyone, if you have not signed it, please sign the petition. The link is in the chat room. It's also in the description box. Please sign it. Please share it across your social media and also contribute to it if you can. Definitely appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's contribution that came through Super Chat, that came through Cash App, that came through PayPal as well. Very much appreciated. I want to thank all of my mods. I want to thank everyone that hit the like button that came in with me today. And last but not least, I like to thank my support team, without which cannot bring you any of this content. Want to thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.